Thank you very much, Tom. I have to say, for a man and for a lawyer, that was really very moving. Another round of applause. Okay, before we move on to the final section of the evening, where we're going to honour our top graduates, I want to introduce someone who's always supported me in this work on education. He's one of our most famous stand-up comedians. I give you Stephen K. Amos.
Thank you, Diane. I'm not quite sure how to follow that rather eloquent speech. There have been lots of very eloquent speeches here this evening. A lot of you may know me for my jokies. That's what I do. But yeah, I tell jokes. Yeah, I get money paid for it. But people don't know that also I have a law degree because, like a lot of the older generation, I grew up in a time when my parents did say, "Education? What do you mean comedy? Are you a clown?" So I got a law degree, and it's really quite inspiring to me to see so many lawyers here, because if you think about it logically, there's a very, very similar whole thing going on between a lawyer and a comedian, because we both stand up in front of a room full of strangers telling lies. And my dad was very encouraging when I eventually got my law degree. He said, when you become a lawyer, you will never lose. If a man is innocent, you'll be paid. If a man is guilty, you'll be paid. If a man wants to bribe you, you'll be paid twice. And maybe I should have followed the other successful lawyers here tonight, because look, I'm wearing a three-piece suit, but clearly I can't afford the trousers. But also, I want to echo what's been said because I do appreciate that we're here for the London schools, and it's about education, which is very key. But I think for me, the whole notion is about what you can do, what you can achieve, and let nothing step in your way. And for me, in my particular personal story, I remember one at my first day in primary school, way back in 19-something. Yeah, getting old. I went to school and I ran straight back home the first day, and I said, Mum, apparently there's a black boy in my class. I can't find him anywhere. My mum said, Stephen, it is you. So I was taught to be very aware of being treated differently and having to go the extra mile. I actually remember when I first started doing comedy, it wasn't really to make money. It was just something that I felt passionate about, that I wanted to do. And I was doing quite well, I thought, and I got called for the very first time into the BBC. I thought, boom, this is it. I'm going to buy me a house. I hadn't signed a contract, right? This big shop producer, he said, Steve, you are so ready. You are ready now. Look out there. He pointed out of his window. I looked. There was no one there. And he said, they're not ready for you. So that told me that I really had to dig deep and really work hard. And hopefully the speeches that have been given by the presenters and the writers and the eloquent chancellors of universities and TV hosts, etc., they will hopefully inspire you as well. You know, because when I look to the things that I've done, I kind of go, fuck, really? I was in a taxi the other day, you know, typical black London taxi. You know, I'm surprised it stopped. Yes. I was in one of the taxis. And the guy goes, oh, you're that comedian, you're that comedian, yeah? I said, yeah. He said, what did you do before you did comedy? I said, law. And he went, why don't you go back to law then? And I said, why? He went, all the black boys in trouble, you might help them. And I said, you know what, black boys like to laugh as well. You know. So, and also a lot of people here, you know, come from different backgrounds, different cultures, and particularly if your parents are immigrants into another country, you've got all that pressure against them, right? Because my dad was like, you want to stand up and do jokes? We didn't invest in your education for you to just stand up. What kind of a shitty job is standing up? Do you want to be a shelf stacker or a policeman? You can't do that. Get a desk and a chair. Be like Trevor McDonald. That's what my dad said to me. Speak like him. You'll never get far in this country. Embarrassing, isn't it? And I said, and it gave me lots of confusion growing up as a young kid. You know, am I British? Am I Nigerian? What am I? I said, Dad, my identity, what am I? My dad said, Stephen, never, ever, ever forget your roots. First and foremost, you are Nigerian, unless you're passing through immigration at Heathrow Airport. And so I just want to say to the young people here, from my point of view, I look in some of your eyes, particularly the young men who come up on the, I don't know if you've noticed this, for some reason all the guys come up and they sort of do this, they sort of go like that, and the girls are like, yeah. I see a lot of me in these young men and these young ladies even more, right? The world is your oyster. As has been said, there is nothing you can't do. Do not let anybody say to you, you can't do this, right? Even at my age, I still get it all the time, right? And I love doing live stand-up comedy. I do love it. However, my real goal is to have another TV series. Because sometimes doing live stand-up comedy isn't that great. But I'm sometimes very aware that the BBC also has a diversity policy, right? A diversity policy. And apparently I've got to wait for Lenny Henry to die. One in, one out. Let's not rock the boat. It's not doing kind of anyone. Hello. So whatever you do in your futures, hand the baton of life on to those coming behind you, right? Because if it wasn't for those who've gone before us, we wouldn't be here now. So well done tonight.